Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today is a little bit of a special day. I'm going to be talking to someone from the Decode ME team. If you've not heard of Decode ME before today, it's a study looking at genetic components in ME CFS, and you're going to learn lots about it later. But first, I need to do my own test. So you sign up and you get a questionnaire to do, and based on the questionnaire, you might be sent a spit kit. And I have been, which is great for this video. I've never done one of these before. I'm a little bit nervous because it seems gross, but it's for science. It's for science. Do you remember that? So I've got a little booklet. 3 easy steps to providing your saliva sample. That's good. Oh, check your kit. A plastic tube with some liquid inside. Yes. A funnel. Yes. A plastic bag labeled biological substance. No, that's not it. Biological substance is this one. A plastic bag labelled biological substance. A white absorbent sheet. A cardboard box. A green plastic return mailing bag. And a Royal Mail sticker. So I've got everything in my kit. That's good news. Provide your sample. Don't do it if you've got COVID. Seems reasonable. Do not eat, drink, smoke or brush your teeth or chew gum for 30 minutes before producing the sample. So I've just brushed my teeth. So maybe I should have read this before. I've just brushed my teeth, so I'm gonna have to take a break. Oops. I'm gonna pop a 30-minute timer. So 30-minute timer is going. Half an hour is done. I'm going to read the instructions again, even though I've already read them, just because it's scary. I don't want to do it wrong. Little plastic bag, surprisingly difficult to open. Remove the cap from the tube and keep the cap for later use. Don't spill the liquid. Screw on the little funnel. Spit into the funnel until the level of the liquid in the tube, not including bubbles, reaches the 4 ml line. Okay. Okay, making progress. Like 3/4 of the way. It's tinged a little bit pink because I've got pink lipstick on, and now I'm thinking I obviously should have taken my lipstick off, but I didn't think of that beforehand. It doesn't say take off your lipstick. I hope that that's not, it's like, I mean, it's like a very subtle pink. Oh God. If you're watching this and you haven't done yours yet, maybe just make sure you don't have any like mouth makeup on, just in case. Okay. Once you fill the tube to the 4 ml line, unscrew the collection cap. Screw the cap back on tightly. Discard the funnel. Okay, shake the collection tube. It's not, okay, now I've shaken it, it's not looking as pink. It's just kind of foggy and gross. Okay, put the sample tube and the absorbent sheet into the bag labelled UN 3373, biological substance category B. Yes. Okay. It's behind the blue. Peel that off. Seal the bag. Place the bag inside the cardboard box and close the box. Placed it in the box and close up the box. Place the box inside the green envelope. There we go. Exempt human specimen. The tracking label. Done. And now we get to go on a nice little trip to the post box. Yay! So we've just seen me taking part in the spit test myself. So now we're going to talk to Anna a little bit more in depth about what the study is and how it works. Do you want to introduce yourself?
I'm Anna Redshaw and I'm a patient with ME CFS. I've been unwell for 13 years and I am a part of the Decode ME DNA study on the marketing and communications team.
So what is Decode ME?
The Decode ME DNA study is the largest study of any kind into ME CFS, so it is incredibly exciting. The deadline for taking part is Wednesday the 15th of November, so there is still time to participate and answer the questionnaire and get that back to the team by the 15th of November.
So you just have to start taking part in the study, you don't have to get everything done by then?
You need to have the questionnaire completed, I think it's by 5 p.m. on the 15th of November.
That's like, what, a month left? So plenty of time to do a questionnaire. What is the study looking for specifically?
The study is looking for genetic causes as to why some of us develop or get ME CFS and some of us don't. For a lot of us, ME has been post-viral, and we're seeing a lot of that with long COVID at the moment. So Decode ME hopes to find out why that happens and whether there's something in our DNA that is the cause of that.
How is the study defining ME? When I did like the questionnaire, it had lots of like defining questions of length of time and severity, lots of questions about my specific circumstances. So how does that apply to everyone? Where are you drawing the boundaries?
So absolutely anybody who meets these 3 criteria can take part in the DNA study, and they are that you are over 16, that you live in the UK, and that you have a diagnosis of ME CFS, ME or CFS. Anybody who meets those 3 criteria can complete the questionnaire, and to complete the questionnaire means that you've participated in Decode ME.
Yeah.
As with all studies of this calibre, to avoid bias, the team cannot reveal the specific selection criteria when it comes to the DNA sample stage.
Yeah.
But I can say that, as you've seen with the list of comorbidities, a lot of us have comorbidities.
Yeah.
And even so, most of us have still been asked for our DNA sample.
So basically, if you have a diagnosis and you're over 16 and you live in the UK, it's worth signing up and doing the questionnaire, even if you're not sure whether you'll be chosen for the spit test, because it's still important.
It's still so important because the questionnaire, the data that we receive and collect in the questionnaire is still so valid and important. And I think that just doing that bit means that you've participated. So it's really worthwhile to be a part of this groundbreaking study.
How have people with lived experience of ME been involved in creating the study, making sure it's accessible, making sure it's what we actually need and want going forward?
This is where it's really exciting, because people with ME or carers of people with ME or parents of people with ME have been involved from the very beginning, from years back when they were pushing for funding to do this genetic study. I'm so excited because I think it's going to set a precedent for future studies, because we hope that this is just the beginning of many. Nobody knows ME better than we as patients do. Absolutely. We are the people who have to endure it every day, and it has been so incredible to see these team of scientists and researchers have complete understanding and respect of that fact. Everything has been run through the PPI group, which is patients, parents and carers have been involved, right down to things like the wording of emails, the colours of the logo, because the initial logo, I personally struggled to read a certain colour against a certain background, and so the team changed it. It's just wonderful. When the first phase of participants had completed the questionnaire, they were asked for their feedback. Bearing in mind that the questionnaire had been put together with patient input, the feedback showed that it could perhaps be worded a little more clearly and that little bit more accessible. So the questionnaire was completely changed because of that feedback, because people with ME were listened to. And we are not used to that. We haven't experienced that before. So it has just been incredibly heartwarming. Obviously, as a member of the team who has ME, I am very restricted by my symptoms. So I have to have times when I just cannot input at all. And there is never any pressure to do more than I am capable of. And there is always the confidence that there is enough people with ME on the team, or carers of ME on the team, that at any time the ME community is being so well represented.
Yeah, it's nice that not only are they thinking about the study to make it accessible, but they're also like providing an accessible like work experience for you, which is hard to find.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. It is amazing. It's really, really exciting.
You're totally right that we do not expect our input to be valued. So many times I've been recommended treatment by a doctor, which then you look to the wider ME community and the whole community's going, there's definitely a lot of us who've experienced this kind of, you know, the medical system being very separate from our experience and our found knowledge. And it's so good that they're bringing both together.
Yeah, and I think the majority of us have learnt the hard way that these medical professionals, not only do they not know, but they don't have our best interests at heart. And it's just the complete opposite to have been a part of the Decode ME team.
Yeah.
Researchers who, rather than have their egos be the most important thing in the room, they're actually like, no, this person has lived with this illness for decades. It's nice because myself and Pippa Stacey are on the marketing and communications team. We've been a part of the ME community for so long that we have a feel for what the community wants, needs, and will not respond well to because of how we've been treated in the past. So even things like that have been vital, I think, to the success of the study.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So how could finding a genetic component itself be helpful to those with ME?
Whether or not there is a genetic cause for ME and finding that out through Decode ME will mean that we can create what they're referring to as a genetic map of where future research and future funding needs to go. So Decode ME itself is not going to produce a treatment or a cure. And that is typical of any complex biomedical question. They cannot be answered by a single research study or a single project. It tends to take dozens or hundreds of researchers and scientists. So we hope that Decode ME will be a very, very strong start to future research that from the results of Decode ME can find those treatments and those cures that we are all absolutely desperate for.
So it's about getting a better understanding of ME as a whole, how it works, where it comes from, all of these like kind of factors, which is like almost laying the groundwork for future research that will be more about finding treatments and stuff. So knowing that we're not going to get, you know, immediate cures and magical things going to come from this, but we're going to get more information and more things to research in the future. But what are we looking at in terms of the timeline of the results?
So preliminary results from the questionnaires are already being released. In terms of the results from the DNA samples, the study is due to close in August 2024. So less than a year away, and we're really hopeful that there will be results to share then. However, there is so much work that goes on behind the scenes, but that's what we're hoping for. We're hoping that by the end of the study in August 2024 we will have some results.
Okay, so less than a year, we're looking at possible knowing some new information.
Just some hope, I think, is what a lot of us feel.
So a step in the right direction, a big step.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
In terms of the early results from the questionnaire, are the results public? Could we go look at them, or are they currently being looked at by the team privately?
I believe they have already been shared on the Decode ME website, www.decodeme.org.uk.
Okay, so we talked a little bit before about you having ME yourself, and how important that was for the study and how inclusive the study's been. And I wanted to ask what kind of impact ME's had on your life.
There isn't actually anything that ME hasn't impacted. It impacts things like what I can watch on telly, whether I can watch it at all, what I can read, whether I can read at all, what noises and sounds I can process, what fabrics I can wear. I'm unable to work as a result of the restrictions it places upon my life. Yeah, life looks very different to how I thought it was going to be. I became unwell just after graduating, but haven't been able to study it any further. So yeah, it's quite a far-reaching impact, is it not?
Life's almost like unrecognisable of what you kind of expected pre getting ill, for me at least.
That people talk about life-changing experiences. This is a life-changing experience, but I'd rather have had something like a skydive or, you know, like,
yes.
I did not sign up for this.
So how did you get involved with the study?
So through my now annual an international fundraising event called Blue Sunday, the Tea Party for ME, I heard from Sonia Chaudhry, who is a co-researcher on Decode ME, and Simon McGrath, who is a patient with a background in biochemistry. And because of the experience I've had through my fundraiser, they wondered if I would like to join the marketing and communications team, because I now have experience of trying to make things like infographics accessible to people who are really very poorly. And I just heard from them at the end of 2020 and was incredibly honoured to be asked, because I was already so excited after hearing about the study that I said, yes, please, thank you very much.
Yeah, I think we're all quite excited about it, and every now and again people say, oh, have you heard of this study? And I'm like, yeah, I've been getting email updates for years, just waiting for it to happen, and it's finally going, and I finally participated. For you personally, why is this study so important?
I can remember the day that I saw the first social media post about this DNA study that they had just secured funding for, and I can remember feeling more hope in that morning than I had in the decades of being ill that I'd already had. I am so excited for this. I am aware that we're not going to receive a miracle pill with a cure in it, but I am also so confident that Decode ME is going to change the future for people with ME. And I'm really excited about the science, but I'm also really excited that this study is showing how valid our cause is and how real our cause is. We've got a team at Edinburgh University who are working every day on this. It's not psychological like they've told us. It's not something that our mindset can cure. I'm so excited that the mere existence of the study is moving us forward and hopefully getting rid of the stigma that still hangs around in 2023.
Yes, absolutely. It feels like someone's taking us seriously for the first time ever.
It really does. It really does.
Taking our experience into account and really looking into it properly.
Yeah, and some of the team have had no prior experience of ME CFS. So to have these people, these highly intelligent scientists and researchers, listen to what it is that we are saying, because obviously we are the experts. We are aware of what our bodies do after exertion or after certain things, and they are interested in that, and it's just heartwarming, really is.
Yeah. So for those who haven't yet joined the study but are interested in how it all works, how do you get involved? How do you start the process?
You need to go to www.decodeme.org.uk, and on that first page there is a box that says take part, and you need to simply click on that box and the process will begin. And they have until Wednesday the 15th of November to do that.
When you've done that, what does taking part look like?
So you will complete a questionnaire that is about 30 questions long, and like I've already said, because the team have listened to people with lived experience, the questionnaire will save as you go. So there is no obligation to complete it all in one go. People know that's just impossible for us to do.
Yeah.
So you do the questionnaire, and again, that is for anyone who's in the UK, over 16, and has a diagnosis of ME CFS. Once the questionnaire is completed, some of us are going to be asked to provide a DNA sample, and if you are asked to provide that, you will receive a spit kit in the post. You provide your saliva and you pop it back in any post box, and the team will then extract your DNA and the research will begin.
Yeah, absolutely right. That the fact that the thing saves is the fact that they don't do that on all forms. I find incredibly frustrating. You go back to a form and it's deleted everything you put in it. It's such a non-brainer, but it's so important.
So important. And things like people with ME had input on how many questions were going to be on each page, because with cognitive dysfunction, you can't be overloaded to a certain degree.
Yeah.
And there's a dark mode option for people who struggle with the bright screens. So I think the team have really tried to think of everything.
And I just want to assure people, anyone who's worried about it, that I've done it, obviously. The questions weren't too long or too wordy. They were easy to understand. They were questions that you know the answers to because they're all about you and your experience. The questionnaire itself is very doable, especially because you can go away and come back to it. It makes all the difference. So why should someone take part? You know, it's an interesting study, sure, but why do you need them as well?
So this is the best, the biggest and the brightest opportunity we have ever had. We have been asking, begging, pushing for biomedical research on this scale for decades. And finally, Professor Ponting and his team are doing it for us. And I think we would be foolish to not take up the opportunity to help them help us.
Every piece of data is vital. The more, the better.
Absolutely, the more the better. And there is the option to have your data and information stored so that future researchers can access it, which means that the funding that they might be going for won't need to be spent in certain areas because they can use the data that we've given from this set of funding. So
and that will, you know, could create like a rolling process of more studies because it opens the door for them in a way.
That's what we're hoping for. This is the groundwork.
So what if someone was to take part, but even with all of these accommodations, it still can, you know, feel like a daunting task? Is there any way we can access any type of support?
Yeah, absolutely, because people with all severities need to be catered for. So you can contact the team. There is an email address and there's also a phone number. So either you or a carer or parent could do that. And the charity, the 25% ME group, are also on hand to help with actually completing the questionnaire if it is just still beyond your capacity. It's really important that there is support there because otherwise people will be excluded, and then that is just not the study for people with ME that Decode ME wants to be.
Yeah, and everybody's voice obviously needs to be heard and deserves to be given the same level of importance.
Absolutely, yeah.
What if someone's very severe or not really very severely at all affected? If you think you're too far on one of the extremes, should you still take part?
Yes, please. Yes, please take part, regardless of what severity you are. You just have to live in the UK, be 16 or over, and have a diagnosis of ME. There is no criteria exclusion about, you know, severity, and you just need to do that by the 15th of November. So all severities are welcome and all severities are encouraged to take part.
Perfect. And I would guess that if you have any kind of question, you can ask the help team or just go for it, because study itself will let you know if you don't quite count, but chances are you do, and it'll be great to have everybody's voice, everybody's experience, you know, collated together.
Yeah, that's what we need. That's what we need. There's already over 20,000 of us, which is just incredible. We need to reach the people who might not yet have heard about it, because not everybody with an ME diagnosis is an active member of what we see as the online ME community with social media and forums. So yes, keep spreading the word. Keep begging people to sign up.
Is there anything else you want to add?
No, I think that's all. So just getting through www.decodeme.org.uk, and it's the 15th of November.
That's perfect. Thank you so much for coming and talking to me. Okay, so I hope that has answered all of your questions. If you have any other questions, you can contact the team. I hope you've learned about the study and now feel more able to join in. I would really encourage you to sign up if you have a ME diagnosis. It's really just about getting as much data together as possible. Thank you so much for watching this video. Bye!